Yo guys,
Hi.
welcome back to our channel. Today, for the first time in Back 5 history, we have someone who isn't part of the Back 5 joining us to discuss a topic that seems to be quite prevalent like amongst the football at the moment. The whole Chelsea United saga. And yeah, our guest today is Sisa, Chelsea fan.
Welcome.
What's up, people?
Okay, I think we should just dive right into it, really. So I'm just going to pretty much act as a mediator today. We've got a Chelsea fan, United fan, as you can see. I might play devil's advocate here and there. But yeah, so let's just dive right into it. So Chelsea finished third, United finished third, Chelsea finished fourth. So between you guys, who do you think had the better season, Frank Lampard or Ole Gunnar Solskjær?
I'll let the guest go first. Let me hear
Okay.
his claim, and then I'll jump in.
So obviously, when we're having this discussion, we got to be very honest. We're gonna have to put aside emotions and history and 20 trophies. You know. Reality is, it's a very tight one. I'll admit that. But Lampard has had a better season. I think you obviously know what I'm gonna bring up, but I'll bring it up again because I'm gonna annoy you.
Tell us.
So firstly, obviously we've got the whole understanding that we've lost Hazard. Okay, and then as much as people are obviously going to be like, Hazard's stats weren't necessarily like, yeah, he was good for us. Yes, he was pretty much our best player. Well, he was not even pretty much, actually. Up front, he was our best. But you know, his loss really was difficult, obviously. So if you're going to lose your best player, that does disrupt your attack. Okay. Secondly, the transfer ban. So I bring this one up because we did not sign anyone. Okay. I'm not gonna get to the United part. Okay, so
Who's huge?
Okay, so we did not sign anyone, you know, in these windows. Lampard, basically, let me just put it like this. Lampard did not have a window to sign. Let's just say Lampard did not sign anyone of his choice at any point. All of the people he's got, all the people he had for the season were inherited. Okay? Then, thirdly, we understand that there's the whole youth thing. So that was his choice, yes. But you had the youth. You had to use the youngsters. And obviously, if you're going to be going up against wanting to be, you know, fighting with top four, whatever, and you're using kids who have the highest experience is championship. That's the most anyone has had, which is Tammy Abraham, and that's like, wow, Tammy Abraham, 26 goals, you know, in the championship. It's like, okay, that's the greatest, really. And we've got some experienced players, yes, but the youngsters were the most common guys who played, or whatever, who had the most,
I can't lie.
whatever. Yeah. So anyway, with all those things and still finishing with the same points as United and only being behind on goal difference, that just, and then, you know, I haven't even gone to the fact that we were still in Champions League until like Bayern or whatever, FA Cup final, you know. So
No, but then they made sure you went out, sadly. But anyway, it's Bayern, so I'm not gonna hold you to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Short. Give us your rebuttal or add on to that. Just tell us your thoughts. What do you think? Ole or Frank, better season?
You know what? It's so difficult for me because I'm gonna say before Jan, there was no argument for me. I was always saying Frank, and for me it was because obviously he didn't have as big of a transfer window. He got Pulisic and Kovacic. I'm counting both of them because Kovacic was on loan and it became secured, and he got Pulisic over the line before the ban. And they are arguably two of Chelsea's better players. But for me, the main thing that I was seeing was the style of play, and that was what was frustrating me because I saw that Frank was doing something. I could see things weren't quite coming together in the final third, but I could see a style of play in terms of they were building up in attacks in very similar ways. You could see that they were actually being coached to do something. And when I watched us play, it just looked like freestyle football for the whole first half of the season. So that's when I was saying, like, genuinely, we just have very good players that are occasionally getting us out of things. Like Rashford just had a 3-month period where he was on fire and scoring goals out of luck, creating by himself, and we would scrape 1-0, 2-1, even though we weren't playing well. But in Jan, Oli did get Bruno, and some people are putting it all down to Bruno, the complete change. But at the same time, I've seen some kind of a style of play since he's come in. So I don't know if Bruno is just the missing piece Oli needed to start playing the style of play he wanted to play, or if Bruno is just so good that they're all freestyling together. I don't know what it is. But since Bruno's come in, I've seen that we started keeping the ball a lot better. We've transitioned from a counter-attacking team to a possession team. We started breaking down teams that have low blocks, which we weren't able to do. And when you look at it the way we ended the season, considering that we were undefeated in the Prem since Jan, you can start to see that Ollie's actually doing something that's quite, you can kind of give him a big up for that. So it's hard for me now because he's brought it back. We had less owls than Chelsea. We conceded less goals. We did finish higher on the table. So now it's hard for me to just say none of it goes down to Ollie, it's only his players. So I don't know. Okay. I can't even get to
you know what? It's a tough one. Like, I'm one of those, I think that's why Tops picked me, because I'm not one of those fans that are like gonna be blah, 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 all up in your face about this, like I'm quite neutral, like, to be honest. Like, I'm actually like quite fair about it. And I'll admit, like, where Ole really has done well is, okay, we can't deny the fact that there was one Bissaka, Maguire and Fernandes. Okay. And that those three, that's a defensive restructure. That's a midfield upgrade. Yeah. Because it's like with United, we knew that, okay, the guys are kind of good, but then it's like easy to cripple United because you just take away some guys from injury, and then it's like, okay, what's happening now? And so those signings did help. However, there are managerial things that Lampard was kind of off with, like sometimes for example, one of the things that frustrated me a lot with Lampard, for example, was that he would change the backline a lot. So a lot of people would ask us, like, or would roast me and be like, you guys, your defense sucks, whatever. I know it sucks, but like they like ask me like, why does it suck? And I was like, and every single time I actually explain, it's like how Lampard, almost every single game, that backline would be different. I think the most he would go with the same backline, it would be like 4 games in a row, and then after that it changes. And obviously with the pairings changing from Christensen to Rudiger, then from Rudiger and Zuma to flipping to Mori and then Zuma, it's like you have to build a relationship, with the backline, for example. So things like that make me think that Lampard, it like exposes his inexperience, if you get what I'm saying. But in terms of the season, in terms of what was achieved, where everyone went, just the overall, obviously you guys aren't done with Europa yet. I don't think you guys will win, but anyway, Europa isn't done yet. Let's say you guys do win, okay, but I think the conversation changes if you guys win Europa. That's what I say.
Now, since we're bringing up negatives as well, I think it's only fair that I do that before I'm going to let Torbs have his say. One thing I will say about Ollie is I've seen also kind of a reshuffling of his pack at times, which haven't made sense, and he's been playing people out of position. I've seen times where he's put McTominay in centre back trying to do things. He's done weird, different changes that don't make sense occasionally throughout the season. He finally made up his mind playing Martial up top, but he was still always constantly trying to decide between who's his number 9, between Rashford and Martial. His right wing position was the biggest issue because he proceeded to try play Jesse there. Jesse did nothing, and he kept staying with him. Then he went for Dan James, who had a very good first month, had no output after that, and he refused to give any of our youngsters a chance. People were calling out for him to start Angel Gomez, Mason Greenwood, and Angel Gomez ended up leaving. And he was always a young talent of ours everyone was speaking about. So everyone's saying he didn't really manage that situation properly because he gave so many chances to Lingard and all these people who weren't having any output, and he didn't play any of the youngsters to give them a chance, even coming off the bench. And then his other biggest issue is he seems to have a lack of ability when it comes to changing a game. If we are in the 70th minute and we are drawing or we're losing, Ollie just does not know what to do. Usually he takes forever to make his substitutions. I've never seen Ollie make a sub at half time. And I don't think I've ever seen him make a sub before the 60th minute. And 60th minute is still early for him. Usually he only starts making subs around the 70th or 80th minute. And the players he brings on don't actually impact the game. So that's a huge thing for a manager. You need to have something, you have to have some idea of how to change things if it's not going right for you on the pitch. And that's something that the fans are not really happy about. But with all that aside, one of the things I have to give to Ollie, which I think he's done better than Frank, is I think that he's come into a team that was very disjointed. The morale was it was destroyed from Mourinho. And he's managed to get Martial to sign a contract. There's talks that Pogba's going to sign a new contract, which we never ever even thought was possible. He's managed to get Martial smiling again. And there just seems to be this unity that we haven't had since Sir Alex. So I think in terms of man management, I've seen really good things in Ollie, which I think is important for a manager these days with social media and players are involved and they're different. And I think Ollie's done really well that side. So it's kind of a counterbalance. But I want to let Torbs have his thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Anyone can jump in wherever. So my opinion, I love Frank. I've always been vocally supportive of Chelsea getting. But I do have to say that for me, the manager at the better season would probably be Ollie. Just for the mere fact that when he's had that best 11 of his, the one that they've been starting recently since the restart, where they've won all their games or undefeated or whatever, they've won they've won games, you know what I mean? They've been at their best. And I just feel like from where they were in December, without their best players, and to stay in the running and then get them all back, and then now he has all the pieces he needs, that he needs for this season, and he has no more excuses anymore, and he pulled through. He got all those wins and he finished above Chelsea. He fetched Leicester as well, finished above Leicester. And I think just that alone, that whole turnaround from being literally nowhere, where we were talking about, I think United should get Poch or just anyone, they just get rid of Ollie. He's just a caretaker manager, to getting all the pieces back, and then all of a sudden it just works. You know what I mean? So that's why I think he's at the better season. On top of that, they've been to, I think, 4 semi-finals. So they finished third. They got the FA Cup semi-final, got the League Cup semi-final, and then also the Europa League semi-final, which they'll probably get to the final as well. So just all of that together, I don't know, I just feel like that's just better than what Frank's accomplished, regardless of. Listen, I think Pully was a hazard replacement. I do think Chelsea thought far ahead. I'm sure they had Lampard in mind before they sacked Surrey, so they thought ahead. So they got Pully to replace Hazard. And it's not I don't know. But Chelsea, those players, those youngsters that Chelsea have. It's hard to say if any other manager would have used them, but I feel like time was running out. I think they would have had to use Sam Abraham anyway, because not Giroud was first choice before, so he would have been used. Maybe I'll give you the ones maybe Frank got that no one else would have used, I probably would say Mason Mount because he played with them at Derby. I don't think another manager would have used him. And maybe Tomori because he was nowhere last season, and this season he was there. But players like Zuma and Christensen, and yeah, I think those two who like they played a lot of centre back this season, I think they would have been used because they'd gone out on loan quite a bit. And I think it was like a now or never type of thing. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think.
And I mean, they've been around, you know. Like I think you see that is a fair. Those are fair points, okay, right? But I want to take away the. I say, and this one sounds a bit like hectic, whatever. Maybe it's because we won it last year, but Europa only counts when you win it.
Yeah, so I think that brings us to the end of our little United versus Chelsea debate show with our first ever guest, Sisa. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll have you back soon. Hopefully we can have more guests soon as our following grows and all that stuff, and we can't just have 5 people talking because then you'll get bored. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, please follow us on Instagram as well, Backslide Podcast. Yeah, and stay safe out there. Wear your mask outside. Cheers.